Okie dokie.
So, we're going to talk about Hello Neighbor, right?
Hey, yeah. By the way, if you don't know who I am Mass Kitty, or my full YouTube tag is Mass Kitty 65665. I'm uh, I'm just a random person with silly energy. Yay!
Indeed.
I very much indeed.
And what are what are your thoughts on Hello Neighbor and how it went, like throughout the years?
Honestly, the game was promising. Like the premise is pretty well. You have to commit
Breaking and
burglary.
entering.
I can't speak sometimes. You have to break into your neighbor's house to see what secrets he has in his basement. And the neighbor is a grumpy old man that sets bear traps all over the place. It doesn't want you in his basement. Like the game had promise. I
Yeah, I
just
just
think,
think they more focused on like parkour and the house itself instead of the neighbor's AI and stuff, and just the neighbor
yeah,
overall,
yeah, that's kind of true.
which is kind of sad. The poor guy.
Yeah,
Because like the most interesting thing about the neighbor is he has a learning type AI. So if you do something in his house like a bunch of times, he will then learn from that and block that entrance that you keep entering from, which is pretty cool. Which of course
yeah,
had some glitches that they kind of fixed and kind of not, but just focused on everything else instead.
yeah. I feel like they could have focused more on the neighbor's AI. Oh wait, just thinking about, did they give the neighbor a name actually?
Uh, I think it was like Mr. Peterson or something, from what I remember.
I mean, that's a pretty nice name. Also, maybe me like for the few gameplays I've seen of Hello Neighbor, all I remember being in the basement is either a satanic ritual type thing or just a labyrinth of doors and mannequins. Maybe I feel like instead of the basement could have been filled with like I don't know, dead
With
bodies.
the beta, it was just like a small room underneath the stairs, and it wasn't really anything. Then with Alpha 1, it was a animation of you opening a door. It has a very glowing light from the door, and then the neighbor shuts the door and catches you and then buries you alive. With this one, it's more just there's candles everywhere. It looks like someone's been living in this basement, and that's about it.
Oh,
uh, I don't know how to explain the other like basements. It's more just the same thing, but with parkour invented to it and other puzzles. Which puzzles and parkour can be fun, unless if it's too much. Which they definitely did a lot with that, and mostly just parkour.
too much of a good thing can be because of
Can be your downfall, like if you use it too
yes,
much.
anyway. Also, the fact that I'm not criticizing having multiple games and all. Cause look at no wait, that's no, that, FNAF
I
for
mean,
example,
yeah,
they have many
FNAF.
many games, but Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek. I mean, Secret Neighbor was pretty successful. It was just like a
I mean,
multiplayer
Secret Neighbor,
version.
I think that one's cool at least because it makes one of the players the neighbor, and it's kind of like a Dead by Daylight situation, but
Yeah, but
more like disguisative, and it's not like obvious of who it is.
yeah, it's kind of like Among Us, but not really Among Us.
Among
Unless
Us.
Among Us before Among Us, lol.
It's like Murder 4 in VR chat, too.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's really funny.
You, you don't know until they decide to reveal themselves to be
The
murder.
best like version of Hello Neighbor is probably, well, Alpha 2, which is the one I'm playing right now. It's definitely one of the
Huh.
more better ones. Like it's simple, sure, of how like to get into the basement. But even with that, at least it doesn't have too much into it to where you're gonna be your brain's gonna be in agony for how much it's trying to think of where to go and stuff.
I've never played Hello Neighbor. I've only watched people play it, but like, there was a short period of time where it was on an iPhone. It was on the Apple App Store. The only reason I knew that because I would like at the time it was like popular. I would use my mom's phone to play Hello Neighbor, and I always get caught by the neighbor, and I hated it every time I got caught. I would be mad. But like, the game's not hard. It's just that maybe they could have added. I feel like they added like for the other alphas, they added a bit too much things against you other than the neighbor. Like you have like I don't know. I'm going off a limb here because I have not watched a Hello Neighbor gameplay in a while. I'll be honest with you, but like um. You got a mechanical shark on the top floor that if you go in the water for like 6 seconds, the shark just eats your ankles.
The neighbor's just like, why is this open?
Why is it open?
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I did not leave that open.
I think the
But
most
honestly,
funny, like the most like I the official release of Hello Neighbor, it has acts, right? As like parts of the story, right?
I believe so. Yes.
With that, it's probably one of the most confusing ones. Like it starts off fine as like basically Alpha 2, but after a while, it just gets confusing the more it goes on. Especially with you being older, going back to your old house, sleeping, and then all of a sudden the neighbor's house is there, but it turns out to be a dream of some sort,
Uh,
and it's very weird. Not only that, in the dream, the neighbor's just a giant, and then you have to get into a house on his back, and it's weird. It feels more like a fever dream, if anything.
Makes sense. The neighbor hear you breaking the glass. He's like, "Who's breaking glass in my house? Who's in my house?"
Yeah. So like, it definitely has its like nostalgia of some sorts, its own nostalgia. But
Like,
I think the art style for the original one, Beta and Alpha one, was better than what it has become. It's more cartoony instead of like actually terrifying.
yeah,
And with the chasing music in Alpha 1 versus like Alpha 2, like look, it sounds like that. Like dut, 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 dut. It doesn't sound scary. It just sounds, I guess, thrilling. But the
I
other
mean,
one actually jump scares you every time it plays, and that's a good that's actually adrenaline type thing.
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
you
He keeps getting mad.
he's just typical grumpy neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what? Even despite the fact that Hell Neighbor didn't get much success because
I mean,
people
it
think
has
it
its own
flopped.
books and like too many games to comprehend.
I mean, like FNAF is the same way, but FNAF is more.
Uh,
Oh, oh hi there. Oh hi there.
I think that's one of the most funniest jump scares. It's just his face, and that's it. He's
He
so like
doesn't.
deadpan too.
He doesn't whack you in the head with any weapon. He just grabs you and is like, "Get out of my house."
He doesn't even grab you. He just stares at you intently. It's like, get out.
That reminds me, despite that, I've heard at least, I don't know, 3 or 2 songs related to Hello Neighbor, and both of them are good. The one by DA Games and the other one by
Yes.
both of them are awesome, and they take the interpretation very well.
Yeah, they're all
Very
right.
well.
They're good. Like old songs are good. It's despite one of the creators being, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But
Also,
the the thing with Hello Neighbor as well, instead of just not only just focusing on puzzles and parkour for the most part, and not even caring about the AI of the neighbor and how it's just like downgraded from everything else in the game. They also focus on the lore a bit, but to a point that it's mostly indecipherable. Like, you can't read it. You can't really figure it out too much. Like, sometimes you can, but maybe it's the wrong thing. And the creators of Hello Neighbor also begged MatPat to make a theory on it a lot.
didn't he make a theory on it
I think he did multiple times, but then he just
though?
randomly stopped because at this point, why should he make more theories?
Let me look. Yeah, he's made a total of 9 videos related to Hello Neighbor. 9 videos related to Hello
Yeah.
Neighbor.
And then with like making more games that cost money, it feels like it's more for the money than anything
Yeah,
as well. But and
understandable,
and
but
then we
like,
have like apparently a movie of it coming out, and I'm just like, you have a show already. You do not need a movie. And I'm kind
I
of
mean,
I don't necessarily think it's going to be good. I very much doubt it's like a Hello Neighbor movie is going to be good. If they somehow make it actually to like almost the alpha or alpha 2 kind of thing, it might work. It might make profit. But if they make it just as confusing as the newer games now, it's not going to be good because like Alpha 2, not Alpha 2, Hello Neighbor 2 as a whole is very confusing, and I don't understand it one bit. And it's not interesting either.
I don't really think many people care about Hello Neighbor that much anymore. I mean, I'll
They
see a few
definitely
videos.
don't. Like, no, not many YouTubers make anything about the newer stuff. I mean, the VR game for Hello Neighbor is okay, but it's very
There's a VR.
confusing.
There's a VR game of Hello Neighbor.
Yeah, it's where you play as like just these kids trying to find what's in this house type thing. Multiple kids, and they each have
Oh,
like a different thing they can do, which is cool and all. It's a good concept, but it's very mind-numbing to what you're exactly doing because it's very confusing.
honestly, I feel like another problem with the game is they don't give the character you play as the protagonist a reason to break into the basement. Like they don't
Like,
really
it's
they
just
never
like you see a neighbor doing weird stuff. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean you should break into their house.
like I feel like it could have played like
I
I don't
think
know.
I think with like the act one, as you're like a kid, it gives you it like makes you look over to the house because they hear screaming. But after they enter the house, like the basement, there's nothing that has that screaming with it. It's like no one was
I
even
feel
there.
I feel like this is how they could have played it out. You just moved in. You're the protagonist of the game. Just moves into the neighborhood, and he goes to greet Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson's like, "Nah, I don't want to. I don't want to talk to anybody." He goes in his house. The neighbor's like, "Okay, I guess he's just a grumpy old man." And like it. The game then jump cuts to a week later, and then the neighbor's just probably sitting on his porch enjoying some nice coffee or something. Then he notices Mr. Peterson dragging something that looks like a body bag into his house, and he's just like, "What the like?" Maybe he sees him doing something like suspicious, like overly suspicious, not weird, because if it's weird and you're like, it's you can't really act on seeing something weird, but if it's suspicious, then you're just like that. Then the neighbor wants to investigate because he's like, "Is he stashing bodies in the house?"
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like if you hear screaming from a basement, obviously you're just like, hold on, there's something going wrong here. But once you find out there's nothing in the basement at all and nothing caused that screaming, then you're just like, what am I here for?
Why did I come all the way out here for, man?
Why did I come to save a kid that's not even existing? And oh no.
What happened?
I picked up the crowbar and it deleted the keycard. That's one of the few glitches of the game. I'm hoping it's in the lost and found box, because that's usually where the items get reset.
The keycard said, I'ma head out. Uh-oh. Oh.
I'm going to die.
Wait, does that...
I don't think it's here.
Is that the TV or is that the
Oh.
neighbor? Oh,
it is the TV. Don't worry.
Oh, I thought that was the neighbor talking. Like, he has a voice? I didn't know they gave him a voice actor.
I mean, he says, ha! And that's about it.
Ha! He goes, ha! And then he just runs at you at high speed.
Yeah, the keycard's gone. I can't enter the basement. This is great.
The keycard despawned, like, I'ma head out. The keycard
so
said,
it's just like, you're not using me. Goodbye. Oh.
The keycard said adios. The keycard for real just said adios. Is it just permanently gone, or is it just...
It's literally gone.
It's no longer part of the game, it just despawned. Oh no.
Just disappeared out of thin air. I'm a magician.
He's in the wall.
Neighbor, I can make every item of yours disappear in a by a snap of a finger, even though I can't snap my fingers in real life. We don't talk about that though.
Same, we don't talk about either. I can't do it either, but we don't talk about that either.
I can't whistle.
I can't either. The only
another thing that another thing that's weird that's always mentioned in every Hello Neighbor game is a crow, which is later mentioned in Hello Neighbor 2, but it's very weird because it's just like someone in a costume, and I think it was the neighbor in the costume. But even with that, it's just like, it's very confusing.
I feel like they're using the crow to symbolize the
neighbor. Something.
Like, most of the theories I see, or like most of the hints from games I see, is that the crow, shut the frick up! I'm trying to speak.
He put a camera up here, and he's not even up here. Ow.
The crow keeps squawking. Shush! I am trying to speak English. And why do you have to look at the crow for him to stop squawking? Then you.
Because he's like, I'm not doing anything.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is that, so in most symbols, crows are related to death and whatnot. They're like a symbol of death. So I believe what they're trying to do with the crow is that symbolized maybe the neighbor, Mr. Peterson, lost someone important to him or something, or someone.
I know in one of the like very old, like I think Alpha 3, there was like a cutscene where a car crash happened. And I think he lost his wife to that. And then there was multiple like other versions of the game where or other cutscene of like a daughter being like falling off the roof of a house.
I believe that was Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek.
Yeah. Or something, I don't know. But it's basically him losing his whole family. But it's very weird.
No, like I mean, the game had potential. It's
It
just that
does.
it was poorly executed.
Poorly. Very poorly.
Not saying the creators are horrible people. They just didn't really execute the
The
game that
creativity
well.
was there, but not for very long.
It was there. It was no, the creativity was there, but it was just not executed well. Oh, shoot him in the eye! Shoot him in the eye! Don't walk away from me, old man.
Nah!
Don't shoot me in my eyes. He's just stretching now. And now he's stuck.
It's like, it's just like the younger, like, grandchild messing with his grandpa. And it's like a very angry grandpa. It's just like, I wanna play!
I wanna play.
We have some fun around here. We make funny jokes. It's funny.
Yes.
Why is he gasping so much?
I don't know.
Hey, Buster!
He's surprised that you're shooting him with a gun.
I can't help but mess with him.
I like messing with them. I would do the same thing if I played the game. I would love just fucking with them. It would be funny.
We can't say those words! We can't say those words!
I know I did.
It makes for comical stuff. We can't say that!
I was trying, like, this entire time, I was trying not to say a swear, and I'm just like, It's hard not to say swears, man. It's funny.
Because they're just words.
The neighbor, when you shoot him, he just gasps dramatically.
He's just like, like he's offended.
He got offended because you kept shooting him.
He's just like, how dare you mistreat your elders?
Respect your elders.
I thought you were gonna say what Flamingo said, like a few, like a year, some years ago. Respect the vets.
Respect the vets. What are you doing in my house?
No. Nothing.
He's like, what are you doing in my house?
I'm hoping that reset the keycard actually. Please, can I get over fence? Okay. Cause like I think the most creepy thing about this version is the basement itself with the type of music it has.
Yeah.
Great job. I think I made a joke of one of my other friend's characters being just the neighbor.
Oh, neato. Speaking of, can I draw at the moment? I want to draw something.
Why are you staring at me like that, bro? He was like, he had his neck turned to the side like he broke it. It was staring at me.
He cracked his neck.
Who hasn't? Ow.
Time to draw blobs. Because I'm lazy.
You okay? I was asking if you're okay, sir. You're breathing heavy. I thought you were having an asthma attack. Come on.
He's like, get out of my house.
You panic attack? You gonna panic? Panic at the disco?
Panic at the disco.
It's a horrible joke.
I don't think half of the viewers would know what the heck Panic at the Disco is.
I think people would know. I think it's a very good popular band.
I mean, I know because I.
But it's also an old band, so new.
Yeah.
In Gen Alpha probably wouldn't know. Maybe.
All they want is.
You are too young, kiddo.
You're too young, children, to know culture.
You are too young to know what real music is.
You sound like I'm sick at the moment, and it actually makes me sound like a goddamn grandma. You're too young to know the
You're too young, Shuddy.
You're too young. This is why I love hanging out with my friends and talking with my friends because we're funny.
Yes. Talking with friends is good. You should go talk to your friends, even if you don't have any make-up. You can do it.
There's someone out there that shares your interests. Go find them. They're out there in the world. Trust
Go
me.
find them and make them your friend.
Find someone that happens to have the same exact interests as you. That you kidnap them. No.
No, don't. We do not encourage that.
No, don't.
That is a joke. Don't do that. That is bad.
That's a joke. We do not commit crimes here.
Committing crimes. It's illegal. Now I sound like Baldy. What? Illegal.
It's illegal.
I sound like Squidward because of me sounding like Baldy. Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Squidward. Mr. Squidward.
I know this is off topic, but can we talk about the times, like in the old SpongeBob stuff? Squidward basically just made death threats to himself, kinda.
Yeah.
He like at one point he like something happens and he's just like he was like disappointed and he was just like, that didn't kill me or something like that.
Yeah.
Too bad that didn't kill me. And it's just like, Squidward, you're in a kids show.
Like, I know this is off topic, but like, Squidward has to be the most depressed character in SpongeBob ever.
And let's be honest, Jax is gonna be like that in the next episode coming today.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot the episode's gonna come.
It's at 6 p.m. for us, so.
p.m. Oh, it's coming out 6 p.m. Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
The thing is, it's like, you know Jax is gonna be the Squidward of the episode. he has to be. And then Gangle, maybe. Yeah, like she's supposed to be the manager, but it's more like a SpongeBob situation, even if that.
Yeah, SpongeBob was the manager.
Isn't that like one of the plots of one of the movies?
You know, he wanted to be the manager, but then
yeah, and then it was Squidward somehow. And he starts crying. Like, there's that scene in like the stupid Goofy Goober thing where it's like all the kids, there's like a kid like part, and then there's like what looks like a bar for very old people. Is it like SpongeBob in his 30s or something?
I believe so.
This poor guy. He has autism too.
Yeah, so do I. We can share the same.
So do I.
I can't wait to see Kane be very silly, and then I'm gonna pretend that I'm just hugging the crap out of him until he explodes. He'll be fine.
He's gonna explode by making himself go insane. Kane is a... He's an individual. He's an individual of some sort.
Kane is the definition of a goofy goober.
Kane is the definition of autism and ADHD combined. Just me.
Both. He's basically you.
He's also you, because we both have autism and ADHD.
We're both chaotically silly. Honestly, if I...
It's like chaotic good.
Yes, we're chaotic good. We don't want to destroy the universe. We just want to bring as much chaos to it without just blowing up the entire universe.
We love people. We promise.
I love good people. People that are actually good people, not people.
We love unproblematic people. Exactly. And that means we hate all of Twitter.
Fun fact, if you join the art community of Twitter, you won't have much problems because most people on the art side of Twitter
not with what Elon Musk is doing. You are now gonna have problems because he added bots and they could take your art. Yay.
Yeah, and I keep getting DM'd by bots And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
let's not. Yeah, that's
I won't
that's
say what type of bots they are. I'll just say they're bots that are DMing me.
yeah, very
But anyway,
weird.
yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to drawing two bald men now. That was out of context sentence ever. I'm gonna go back to drawing two bald men now.
Bald men? Do you mean egg?